Hey everyone, welcome to day 3 of Why We're Not Living Our Dreams. Have you guys written down your dreams? Do you have big, huge dreams or do you have little dreams? Do you manifest your dreams? A lot of people are living their dream life. Right? I've done home care for quite a few years, and I've always talked to people in their 80s, 90s, sometimes 100. And, the only thing that they've ever regretted was not having enough time. Okay? But they lived their life. They were happy with their life. They had no regrets. They did whatever they wanted. They lived their dreams. Okay? I just had a lady there last week, 2 weeks ago. She was saying that her daughter was going to Britain. She goes, man, I would love to go there. She said, you just wait. If she calls me up and tells me that, asks me if I want to go, I'll say when and where. Right? So 2 days afterwards, I go in to see her again. And she goes, guess where I'm going? And I said, I don't know. Where? She goes, I'm going to Britain. She's 97 years old. So, you're never too old to live your dreams. Okay. So get that out of your head because it's not true. Yeah. So what are your dreams? Do you guys have any dreams? Have you written them down? Right. Because next week, we're going to go over our dream sheet. Okay. So if you guys want that dream sheet, put hashtag dream in the comments and we can go over that next week. Okay. Because it's not as simple as you think. So, my name is Angie Langley. I am a happiness expert and I show women who have been knocked down by a trigger or trauma or what the hell ever, how to rise up so they can take back control of their life again. So if this is you or someone you know, this is where you need to be. Oh, hi, Victoria. How are you guys doing? Yeah, so there's a link above. This is StreamYard for Facebook. So if you can click on that and then come on back, that way I can see who is here. Okay. So our dreams. Now, the first thing we went through was our lack of alignment, right? So if our dreams are way up here, like I have huge dreams. My dreams are like way up here, right? Right. So if your dreams are up here, but you're down here, right? That's not lining up, right? It's just like your car. If you don't have an alignment, you're shaking, you're wearing out your tires, you're going all over the place, right? And it's not fun. So once you're in alignment, it's smooth sailing, right? Your car works better, you drive easier, you can drive faster if you're like me, and you can handle life a lot better. You can handle your car a lot better when it's in alignment, right? So if you're down here and your dreams are up here, we have to get you up here, okay? And this is when the magic begins. This is when you manifest things that you never dreamed of, right? The second thing was impatience and unrealistic expectations. Now, I have patience for everything except for myself. Are you guys like that too? Yeah. Sometimes I want things so bad and so fast, and that I don't have the patience for it, right? And but I have to kind of step back and take a breath and it's like, okay, it's not going to come to me if I'm impatient, right? Say if I want to, like last week, I said I wanted to retire from my job, right? So for me to say, okay, I'm going to retire next week, that's an unrealistic expectation, right? But if I say I want to retire in a year or two, that's a realistic expectation, okay? Because I can take those steps to get there, right? Just like your healing journey. If you guys go through a lot of trauma, you're depressed, anxiety, stress, You're not feeling well. You're sick all the time. You have lack of energy, right? You're not going to go be that way one day and then happy the next, right? It's totally unrealistic, right? There is a roadmap that you need to take. There is a blueprint that you need to take to get to that happiness, right? That's the roadmap that you need to get to your dreams. So just like, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but this is my ultimate happiness blueprint, right? So this is what I take you guys through to get your happiness, right? So if you're sick and not well and stressed and have all this trauma and you can't figure out why in the hell you can't live your dreams and why you can't get ahead in life, I take you through this blueprint, okay? And then you get up here. And this is where the magic begins. This is where all your transformation is, right? So you get rid of all this crap that's holding you back, all that dead energy, all that toxic shit that's in your life, right? That's holding you back, right? So once we get rid of that, this is where your dream life comes in. This is where it starts coming in and you start fulfilling your life, you manifest things that you never thought of before. Okay. So the third thing that we're going to discuss today is unresolved subconscious blocks. Right? Do you guys have any? If you do, write them in the comments. What are some of your unconscious blocks? Some of them you might not even know you have, right? I had a client, she's all done with me now. And she's had this block of going over bridges. She had this fear, and this fear, took over her whole life because she went out of her way to go around them because she was petrified so bad, right? But once she found out why she was scared of bridges and driving over them, and after we healed that, she's been amazing ever since. She doesn't have any trouble driving over bridges. She doesn't have that anxiety anymore. She doesn't have that fear of drowning, right? So, and that was a block that she didn't even know she had or where it came from. So if you guys have anything like that, put in the comments. Yes, no, maybe, you're not sure. So if you're not sure, give me a call. So put hashtag call in the comments and we can figure those all out. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let me see. I got my notes here. So what are some of your dreams? What are some big, huge dreams that you want to live, that you want to fulfill? Of course, unconscious. Yes. So one of my dreams is to be able to help so many women and men too. I've had a couple of men come up to me and ask me for help. So, and I don't mind. I don't, but my big dream is to be able to help so many women, but I want the freedom to be able to do it anywhere in the world. Right. So say if I traveled to another country, I'd be able to work on my laptop and help them then, right? To help women all over the world. I have clients in the US. I have clients here in Canada. So, and I've even worked on people over in Europe. I've helped women in Australia, right? And so it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You can live your life. You can heal people. You can do the things that you want to do, right? If you told me 5 years ago that I'd be doing this, I'd be like, no, you're crazy. There's no way I can do this stuff. There's no way I'd be healing people all over the world, right? So, yeah, but that was a subconscious block that I had, right? That was my self-doubt coming in. That was my limiting beliefs. That was my programming of not being good enough, right? So, do you guys have any of those too? Yeah. So, what is one of your big dreams? All right. Write it down in the comments. Tell me what is one of your biggest dreams that you have, and maybe we'll take action and get you there. Okay. So, our subconscious blocks are patterns and beliefs and emotions and traumas that we go through in our lives, and and they're stored in our subconscious up here. Okay, and they hinder our manifestation progress because all of these things are low energy, right? And where we are in our energy field is what we're attracting, right? So we have low energy, right? Like guilt, anger, hatred, jealousy, right? Those are all low level energy. So if we're always feeling that and thinking that, that's what we're going to attract more of, right? And we don't want that stuff. No, we want to be up here where there is love and happiness and joy and abundance, right? It's up here. So this is where your energy field needs to be to manifest the things that you want. Okay. So we got to get you up there. Okay. So we got to find out the origin of these blocks. Okay. Some people don't even know they have blocks, right? Like the woman that was my client, my old client, my friend, she was petrified of bridges, right? Some people have negative beliefs about themselves, right? They have traumatic events. I've talked to many women who have been in car accidents, and they're petrified of driving down the highway or driving in a car. Okay. Some people have all these negative beliefs that are inner childhood, right? So if you didn't have a supportive childhood with friends, if you were bullied in school, if you had people tell you, that's crazy, you'll never amount to anything. I've had that. I really have. And so when you feel that way and you think that way and you think, oh, well, no, I'll never be successful. I'll never have my own business because everyone told me I'd never be able to amount to anything. Right? There's even teachers that will do that. Yeah. And, my oldest son, when he was in elementary school, he had a hard time with school, and he wouldn't do his work because the teachers were going too fast, right? And he would come home, and him and I would do homework for 3 or 4 hours a night. And he was in grade 4. Like, what grade 4 student has homework for 3 or 4 hours a night? Hardly anyone. So one day I'm like, well, this is ridiculous. So I called his teacher up and I said, does everybody else have this much homework? Like, why does Colton have so much homework? He says, well, he just sits in his desk and doesn't do anything. So we just leave him. I was like, what do you mean he doesn't do anything? I said, how do you think that he gets his work done the next day? How do you think he got his homework done the next day? She goes, well, I don't know. He just doesn't do anything. So we don't bother with him. So, of course, how did that make him feel? It made him feel stupid. It made him feel inferior. It made him feel like he was worthless, right? Even though this teacher said, I'm not going to bother with him anymore, that hurt, right? And sometimes he still feels that way, right? Although I totally brag all my kids out. I support them as much as I possibly can, But when somebody outside, someone in a respective profession like that says something to you like that, it's hard. Right? So I told her, I'm like, well, I want to get him tested. And she goes, oh, well, no. She goes, that costs money and that's just a waste of time. I said, no, I want him tested. I want to make sure that there's nothing wrong. I said, and if there is something wrong, I want to deal with it right now. So anyway, they hummed and hawed, and I bugged and I bugged and I bugged until they got him tested. And to find out what it was that when the teachers wrote on the board, how they write, and then they erase, and then they write, and they expect you to keep up. Well, he couldn't keep up. Like, he couldn't read on the chalkboard and write it down fast enough, right? It wouldn't say in his head fast enough. So they had to do things for him, like they had to give him his notes differently, so he wouldn't have to write them out. But when I had the interview with his counselor who tested him, she goes, "He's highly intelligent." And I said, "Yes, I know. This is why I was so adamant about getting this done." Right? She said, "I asked him for 3 animals." And she said, usually kids will say, a dog, a cat, or a bird, right? But she said, he goes, there's a bison, a duckbill, platypus, and some other kind of weird animal that he knew about, right? And this just popped out of his mouth, right? And she said, I didn't even know what they were. She said, I didn't even know a bison was real. She said, I had to go home and look it up. She goes, I've never ever had that done before. So, of course, after they switched things around and helped him with that, he grew it. He didn't have to worry about that in high school. But once he grew that, and once they changed the way they were teaching him, he bloomed. Right? So watch those social influences, right? Watch that childhood conditioning, right? So even just saying words that you don't really mean, they take effect, okay? We also have that negative beliefs and those self-limiting thoughts, right? It's like not being good enough, right? Your worthiness, you don't have any confidence. Your ability to achieve these dreams are far-fetched, right? These are the thoughts you get going on in your head. And if those of you who have been following me for a while know where these thoughts are coming from, right? Yeah. So we also have an emotional trauma and these emotional wounds, right? Some people have been abused, they've been abandoned, betrayed, they've had rejection. We have these deep-seated fears, insecurities, emotional pain. Okay. All that stuff drags us down, right? And although we've went through that and we lived it, it doesn't mean we have to carry it with us forever, never, never. Okay. A lot of women in this group have had a major loss in their life, right? And it's affecting them. It's affecting their life. They're affecting their health. And although they say they're grieving, I don't think you really finish fully grieving, right? But healing from that loss is not about forgetting who that person is. It's just letting go of that emotional attachment, that grief, that loss, right? Yeah. Oh, hi, Selena. Yeah, so so we have to watch that, okay? A lot of us have a resistance to change and growth, right? I had a client, a home care client, and I kind of freaked her out because if anyone knows me, knows that I have an aversion to crystals, love crystals, right? And I told her one day that before I even knew that I was a psychic, that I could do this stuff, my friend and my daughter and I went to a mind, body, and spirit show. And this woman had all these crystals all over her table. So my friend grabs the selenium light wand and she goes, here, hold this. I was like, oh, okay. So I'm holding it. And as I'm holding it, my hand starts shaking like this. I was like, oh, okay. Right? So I'm telling this my client, my home care client, this, and she's like, "Oh, that's so weird." She said, "I've never heard tell of that before." I said, "No, a lot of people haven't." Right? So anyway, she went and she got some little stones, and she said, "I've just been giving these out to the girls that come in, just because as a thank you gift to show them my gratitude for them to come in and help me." And I said, "Oh, okay, cool." She goes, "Here's the bag." And there was like four of them, four crystals left in this bag. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, thank you." So I grabbed the bag and I'm like, "Ooh, there's one in here that is talking to me." And she goes, "Really?" So I opened it up and I spread them out and I was like, "Nope, that's not it. Nope, that one's not it. Oh, nope, that one's not it." And then I picked up the black onks and I was like, "Ooh," right? I was like, "Oh," and I was shaking and I had to put it down because it was the energy of it was so strong and so powerful. And she goes, "Oh my God, that was so weird." She said, "I wanted to know how exactly you would react to the stone." So anyway, I kind of freaked her out a little bit. But now she has that, she's changing her thoughts. She's always had those psychic and empathic abilities, right? But she was scared to bring them out. She was scared of what people thought of her, right? So she didn't change. So when she found out that I was who I am and what I do, she's starting to open up for that, right? So she's not resisting that change anymore, and she's growing. Right? I have a woman, and I've been through it, and the solar eclipse that we went through was hell on earth, right? Did you guys feel that heaviness? Just extremely tired, weighed down. You just want to sleep. You have no ambition whatsoever. But as soon as the eclipse went through, things started picking up again. Yeah. Well, that just means the negative stuff is flowing out and the positive stuff is coming in. Okay. So sometimes we go that way. We get stagnant, right? We get on that stair. But what we want is up here, the next step, right? Sorry, guys. So we kind of sit here for a minute on the step and we're like, okay, where do we want to go? Do we want to go up or do we want to stay here? Right? And sometimes we kind of sit there for a little bit. And then we take that step. Because once you take that step, you can't go back. Right? So even though as far up the ranks as I am, I still kind of step back and say, okay, which way do I want to go? Do I want to go up or do I want to stay where I'm at? Right? And of course, I want to go. I want to grow. I want to help as many people as I possibly can. I want to be able to show people how to open up their empathic abilities, right? I know a lot of my clients, their intuition is blocked because of trauma and because of their PTSD, because of their anxiety and depression. But once they release that, their intuition's starting to pick up. Right? So that's kind of cool. What else do we have? Oh, repression and suppression, right? We always tamper down those emotions, right? Oh, sorry, guys, I'm talking too much here. Somebody pisses you off. What do? You swallow it down, right? Yeah, it's not good. I'm gonna have to go get a drink, guys. Hold on. There we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, so we swallow all that down. And that's how we get stomach troubles, right? A lot of people have autoimmune diseases. We get a lot of sore throats, coughing, right? um, you know, Also, our manifestation and our external circumstances are compromised, right? You could be stuck in a job that you don't know how to get out of. You know, my son come down and he said that he had to borrow his buddy's trailer to bring his toolboxes home. I was like, why? Why don't you bring your toolboxes home? He's an auto body mechanic, and he was working with a very reputable company, and but he didn't like it there because the manager didn't treat them right, right? And so he left. He took his tools and he left. Um, so, but it took him over a year of suppressing all of that. I don't know, verbal abuse, I suppose, right? I don't know the circumstances in there. He just said his boss was an asshole. So, and he just took it until he couldn't take it anymore and he left, right? Don't worry, he has another job. He would never leave one job without going to another one. So, yeah. So he suppressed all of that and it was getting to him, right? And now that he's released it, he's a lot happier. So, what are some things that we can do to get rid of all this stuff? Right? Do that inner work. Do that self-reflection. Find out where those beliefs are coming from. Find out where those emotions are coming from. What are the patterns? Did you get a great idea, but then something holds you back? It's like, oh no, I can't do that. What if I did that and somebody's told me I was stupid? What if they judged me? Right? When I first started going live here, all those thoughts kept going into my mind. Right? But now they don't. No, they don't. But at first they did. Right? I was like, oh no. What if they don't understand what I'm saying? What if I can't help these people? Right? These thoughts all get into your head. But yeah, so do some of the inner work. Find out where those thoughts are coming from. Okay. Have you guys ever heard of the EFT, the Emotional Freedom Technique? There's lots of it on YouTube. There's lots of people out there that teach it, that have great results with it. And it helps clear those blockages. Okay. If you guys don't know what it is, it's tapping, right? You just tap. Right. It's not something for me. I mean, it'd be great for you guys, right? But, and if you have tried it and it worked, that's great. But for me, it's just not something that I can do. It just didn't work for me. I have no idea why. It just annoyed me to do that. So I don't know, but if it works for you, great. Try that. If it works, there's lots of YouTube videos out there for that. There's an app. Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah. So if you want to do that, find the app for it. Put the app in the comments, and maybe those who want to try it can use it, right? Sometimes you got to reprogram your subconscious mind, right? So a lot of people use affirmations, visualizations, hypnosis, right? Even that reprogramming it just to replace those beliefs. It's for empowering ones, right? So I have a video on how to have powerful affirmations. So if you guys want that, put affirmation in the comments and I can send that out to you. Okay. Yeah, because sometimes affirmations don't work. Sometimes visualizations don't work. Right? It's because we want that instant gratification. We don't want to keep doing it over and over and over again because the universe isn't going to give us everything we want right off the bat. It's going to kind of hold off and say, okay, does she really want this? Let's just kind of wait here for a minute until she makes that next step. Okay. And sometimes if we wait too long, our doubts come in and, all these limiting beliefs come in and, the tapping solution. Okay, there you go, guys. If you want to try that, it's called the tapping solution. Let me know how that works for you. Okay. So these are some ways you can reprogram that. Okay. You can do inner child work, right? Your inner child is huge in your healing trauma. I do a lot of it in my course, in my program. And it's all about nurturing your inner child and reparenting that wounded little girl that's inside of you. Okay. So if you want to know more about that, give me a call. Okay. Put hashtag child in the comments and we can on a call. Okay. There's a lot of healing modalities out there. There's a lot of acupuncture. Some people do Reiki, chakra balancing, and that clears out those energetic blockages. But if you want a deep dive to find out what is really going on there, to get to the root cause of these things, give me a call. Okay. I know a lot of people, when I first started doing energy work, I had a lot of women say, "Oh, I've had Reiki done before. It didn't do a thing for me." She goes, "All it did was relax me, and that was it." She says, and then I was the same right afterwards. And I was like, "Oh, but I don't do just Reiki." And I'm like, "Oh, well, what do you do?" So if you want to know, you have to give me a call. Okay. A lot of my clients know what I do, and it's permanent. Once we release it, it doesn't come back. Okay. So what healing or energy modality have you guys used? Have you tried? Some of the physical aspects of these subconscious blocks is chronic pain. Arthritis is huge. If you just have a lot of muscle pain or arthritis pain, a lot of that is from our wounds, our emotional wounds, and our subconscious blocks. Okay. Tension and muscle tightness, we have a lot of stress in our neck and in our shoulders. Okay. And sometimes if it gets to the point where your neck and shoulders can't handle no more, it gets into your lower back, right? When your back goes out, you're stressed out bad. Sometimes we have digestive issues, right? We have indigestion, bloating, irritable bowel, right? That is an emotional autoimmune. So anything autoimmune is about emotional things that are going on in your life. So once you release those, it alleviates all those symptoms. Okay. So they often say our gut is our second brain because it's highly sensitive to the emotional and psychological stressors. Okay. So all that emotional tension and unresolved issues will manifest in our stomach. Okay. If you have a lot of stuff going on in your mind or in your life, right? And you're highly stressed, where does it go? You don't feel like eating. You get pains in your stomach. You get knots in there, right? Yeah. So if you're getting all this stuff, kind of sit back and say, okay, what's going on in my life that I can let go of, right? What are some things in your life that you have no control over that you need to let go of? Okay. Fatigue and low energy, it just weighs you down. All of that trauma, all of that emotions, that toxic energy it just weighs you down and it's heavy as hell, right? So that's why all that stuff is way down in the bottom, right? I have a vibe sheet too that I can give out. So if you guys want that, let me know. Put hashtag vibe in the comments and I can send that to you. A lot of us get headaches and migraines. Okay. We can't sleep. Of course, our immune system, we're always sick because we're stressed out. We always have infections all the time, chronic inflammation. Okay. Even skin conditions are caused from stress and emotional trauma. Okay. Like eczema or eczema, however you guys want to say it, psoriasis, acne, hives, right? Um, how you have a huge event coming up, right? Or, you have a dance coming. Remember when we were in high school and the prom was coming up and we're like doing our skincare and our skin is glowing and it's great. But a few days before or even the day before the prom, we're stressed out. We're like worried and then all of a sudden you wake up and you have a big zit on your face. Yeah, that's caused from stress. Yeah. Have you guys ever done that? Yeah, I have a lot too. So where does the ego come in with this? Our Patsy, our Lulu, our Stassi, our Stinky, our Sally, our Susie, they take a key role in our dreams, right? Because their job is to keep us safe, right? So that is their defense mechanism, is to keep us safe, So they give us all that chronic pain. They give us that fatigue. Have you ever had like a huge exam or a huge something, a call or a sales call coming up, or I don't know, say an interview coming up, and all of a sudden you just need to take a nap? That's your Patsy. Sometimes the identification with our physical health, right? It's all about our emotional and psychological issues, right? So they focus on the things from our past, right? Our root causes. It's like, well, you go on this interview, you're not going to get the job because remember you went on to this other interview like 10 years ago and you didn't get that job that you really, really wanted. Yeah. She's the one that's doing that. And that's what they do, right? So they have that fear of vulnerability. They don't want us to change because we're scared of the unknown. Okay. They don't want to be vulnerable. They resist that change, right? And they self-sabotage. Like when I was taking my swimming lessons, right? My Patsy was telling me I looked fat in my bathing suit. She said that I was going to drown, that the water was cold, that it was too deep. That was my Patsy doing that for me. Because she wanted to keep me safe, because she didn't know what was going to happen if I jumped into that water. Okay. So hopefully this guy's helped. So if you want to know anything, if you want the replays for all of these, put hashtag replay. Come back again next week and we're going to do the dream sheet. But you need to do this ahead of time. So put hashtag dream in the comments and I can send that out to you so we can do it together next week. Okay. So come on back. Have a great week and see you all soon.